Breaking Man with Orpheus Audio Academy, and in this video I'm going to walk you through how to go about mastering a song in the synthwave genre so that it sounds nice and clean and polished and modern, while also retaining some of that vintage character. Now, before we dive into the tutorial, I just want to share with you a free gift, which is my Synthwave starter pack. It includes presets, samples, checklist guides, and a whole lot more to help you make incredible sounding synthwave music, including tons of presets for free synths like Vital and others. So if you want amazing retro drum samples, presets, and more, definitely grab this. Just grab it in the description below or go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/starter pack. All right, so first we're going to start off with some good old-fashioned EQ. I'm using a linear phase EQ, which is typically what you want to use when you're mastering, so you don't introduce any phase issues, because actually what happens when you use a regular EQ is you can introduce some phase issues in coloration. So this is making sure it's completely clean and transparent. Not doing a whole lot here, just kind of boosted the highs a lot. I didn't really need to do anything with the bass here. I'm just rolling off the low lows and the high highs. And one tool that can be helpful when you're mastering is this tonal balance control by Izotope. It kind of can help you know what ranges you want your song to be in for your genre. You can also upload references and make sure you're kind of matching those. So you kind of want to be in the middle of these different boxes for your project. So this is what we got right now. So our bass is pretty high, and then our highs are kind of low. So that's where we can maybe boost this up a tad. It's a bit too much. So that's pretty good. We're going to use some bus compression. So you can use anything for this. I'm using the Waves SSL. So this kind of mimics the SSL bus compressor on the old SSL consoles that were used in the 80s. This is just a preset I've kind of made for myself. I'm using this sidechain filter so that we're not doing as much compression on those lower frequencies, so they're not biasing the compressor, because that, if you don't filter the lower frequencies, then that's what what's mostly going to be compressed, and we don't really want to do a lot of that. And so we got slow attack. I'm putting it on auto release, low ratio, and then we're going to do like 2 to 3 dB of compression. So you can hear that really makes it louder and brings it more forward, but it's not actually adding any loudness. It's just perceived loudness because there's not as much variance in the dynamics. And so this also really helps glue your track together, and it's really sounding good now. One other thing I threw on here was just this free Ozone 11 equalizer, just to kind of remove some harshness and try to handle some of the boominess in the bass. And this is great because it looks like these are like drastic cuts, but this is only 2 dB. So it's like really zoomed in. And so you can do more like fine tuning. By the way, links to all plugins, free and paid, will be in the description below as well. So this is helping to tame some of those low bass frequencies that were built up too much. And then I'm going to add some console saturation with this NLS Buss. So you can use anything that has like mimicking like console, like in Logic Pro. We can go to like EQ, and we can go to vintage EQ, and we can go to console EQ. And so you don't have to use the EQ, you can just use this drive tool. So again, it's mimicking the kind of saturation that you had in the SSL console. So it's very, very subtle, so you can barely hear it, but it's adding just a little bit of that console saturation. And then we're going to do some tape saturation to mimic recording to tape. And I'm using the T-Rax Tape Machine 99 as part of IK Multimedia's tape machines collection. And this is really nice. And I'm just using the mastering 456 preset here. And this sounds really good. Really opens it up, brightens it up, especially on the tops, the high end. This way livens things up. We can increase the input if we wanted a bit more. If we wanted more saturation. Sounds really good. And then the final step would be to apply the limiter. In my case, I'm going to be using the LANDR Mastering Pro, because this is kind of just like a mastering assistant to kind of just check my work that I like to use as kind of the last thing. So I apply some of my own mastering tools, but then I use this as the last tool. So they're also the sponsor of this video, so big thanks to LANDR. And so this just listens to your track and then applies some settings to it. So I did some adjustments here. Now you got a de-esser here. I'm kind of just using it to kind of remove some harshness since I don't have any vocals. I'm boosting a little bit of presence, increasing the stereo width a bit, and adding just a tiny bit of saturation and compression. So now we'll hear this. And so we'll gain match things so you're not hearing that huge loudness boost because it's so hard to compare. So it's very subtle, but I feel like it brings out the clarity and I'm hearing the different instruments more clearly. I can hear them better, especially like I feel like I was hearing the bass come through more. And so this is just really great for making sure you're going to hit those right volume levels. So if we look at Insight here, we're kind of aiming for -8 to -10. Obviously we're on gain match, so warning, it's going to get loud. So pretty good. We're at -0.2 peak, and we're at -8.6 LUFS. It's actually has the LUFS listed here as well, LUFS, but I'm just checking it against Insight, and yeah, it's the exact same number, so I know it's accurate. And so it's a good volume level. Sounds really loud, but also very clear and very clean, and I think we got really good mastering. So then without everything I did and just the LANDR tool, we'll hear how this sounds. So I definitely think it is benefited by the other plugins I added, but then I really like having the LANDR Mastering Pro at the end. So that is my mastering chain for mastering synthwave music. Now, if you'd like a step-by-step system that will walk you through how to create pro-quality synthwave music from home that sounds like your favorite artist without having to buy any new equipment or plugins, then definitely check out my program, Synthwave Mastery. You can see it on the screen here. Just go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/synthwave to check this out. And you can see this walks you through everything you need to know to create synthwave music. We've got sound design and selection, lessons here. We got some actual specific recipes for how to create specific synthwave sounds. Then we're getting into how to write a synthwave song in production, how to program and compose bass, drums, chords, arps, leads, and more. We're also going to have a whole lesson on synthwave vocals. So I'm still updating this as well. So when you sign up for this program, you also get lifetime access to all future updates as well. You also get my Synthwave DAW templates as well. You get a Synthwave songwriting template up here. And I also walk you through how I go about creating synthwave songs step by step from scratch. We wrap things up with mixing and mastering for synthwave, so it goes into a lot more detail. And I'm adding more and more to this all the time. I've got advice from other synthwave artists. This is from an interview I did with Dream Kid, but pretty soon I'm going to be adding in extra lessons here from The Midnight and Time Cop, 1983, and others. So there's going to be a lot of really great content in this coming in the near future. So if you're ready to become a synthwave master, definitely check this out in the description below, or go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/synthwave. Now, speaking of synthwave, if you want to know how to create really punchy, amazing synth bass, then check out my video on the screen right now.